Craig Wright has 145 problems, but a Satoshi ain't one. Stick around as we dive into this and more on Exodus Crypto News. Hey everybody, it's the last Friday in May 2020 and we're happy you're joining us for the weekly crypto news recap. We're going to move pretty quickly, so hang on. If the name Craig Wright, otherwise known as CSW, elicits a groan, you're not alone, and he has rightfully earned the title of Faketoshi after years of making the claim that he invented Bitcoin without providing any verifiable proof. Last year, Craig Wright submitted court filings stating that he owned a long list of dormant BTC addresses that had mined Bitcoin in 2009. Of course, he said he didn't have the private keys to prove this because they were stuck in a time-locked trust, which is why the coins hadn't moved. Fast forward to now, and two big things happened. On May 21st, a whale moved 40 plus BTC mined in 2009, which capitulated speculation that this was Satoshi cashing in. Some dogged blockchain sleuths quickly determined that this wasn't Satoshi. The coin movement did tie into Craig Wright, however, because the address was included as one he claimed to own. This caused a bit of double jeopardy for CSW. If he owned the keys and moved the money, he would be liable to settle his court case, which would see him lose at least half of the Bitcoin. If he denied it was him, then he admits to providing false documents to a court of law. There was really no time to let the dust settle enough for Craig Wright to provide an explanation because just a few days later on the 24th, an early miner signed a Bitcoin transaction with this message. Craig Stephen Wright is a liar and a fraud. He doesn't have the keys used to sign this message. The Lightning Network is a significant achievement. However, we need to continue work on improving on-chain capacity. Unfortunately, the solution is not to just change a constant in the code or allow powerful participants to force out others. We are all Satoshi. Signing a message can only be accomplished with a private key, and this message did not just appear on a single transaction from a single Bitcoin address. The message was signed from 145 Bitcoin addresses, all of which CSW claimed to be his. These signed messages are categorical proof he does not have the private keys and puts to bed any additional speculation of Craig Wright being Satoshi Nakamoto. So will this be the end of hearing about Craig Wright? This is one topic where everyone has a strong opinion. Let us know yours in the comments below. I say polka, you say dot. What? You've never heard of Polkadot? Essentially, as I understand it, the Polkadot Network is the blockchain of the future, using similar technology to Ethereum and has entire development teams, parody, who have moved entirely away from ETH and into Polkadot. If you're not familiar, Polkadot is a platform built for Web 3. So what happened to Web 2.0? Well, the logical next step is for the internet to operate on blockchains, many of them constantly interacting with one another, seamlessly allowing, as far as the Polkadot mission statement says, to have a web where our identity and our data is our own, safely secured from any central authority. I don't know about you, but a completely decentralized web where users are in control of their own information sounds great to me. This is the first project from the Web3 Foundation, and it has lofty goals. Do you think Polkadot is a harbinger for the web of the future? Will it eventually take over Ethereum as the platform for builders? Leave a comment with your thoughts, and if you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more from Exodus. Exodus is a crypto application platform that's home to over 100 cryptocurrency wallets and other crypto apps. Click the link above to learn more and download Exodus today. Unless you haven't been paying attention, you're all probably familiar with the money printer go Brrr meme. The endless printing of money continues as the US government's attempt at stabilizing the economy approaches $6 trillion. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first got into crypto, I was bombarded with the magic internet money arguments. It's not real, they said. There's no future in it, they said. And well, here we are. In 2020, and the US unemployment rate is over 14%, with over 40 million people out of work, and the government is just piling money into the economy to feed the stock market, which has seen some recent stability. What is this stability based on? I would call it hopium. The tables have turned, and Bitcoin, because of its program scarcity and reduced stock to flow, will always increase in value, making it not imaginary internet money, but rather a solid store of value for the long term. While at the same time, the US Federal Reserve has said we have an unlimited supply of money and they will keep printing as long as it's needed to support the economy.
Is the Fed just going to print money?
That's literally what Congress has told us to do. That's the authority that they've given us to print money and provide liquidity into the financial system. And that's how we do it. We create it electronically, and then we can also print it with the Treasury Department, print it so that you can get money out of your ATM.
The thing is, there's nothing supporting the support. The Fed prints money and then moves it around from one fungible ledger to another, giving the appearance of stability. Okay, so let me ask you this. If the US government can print an endless supply of money, why do we have income inequality? Why do we have education inequality? Why are people going hungry with not enough food to eat? Why do we need to pay taxes if there is an endless supply of money? Bitcoin and crypto fix this by putting the power of wealth into every individual to control, instead of the few wealthy having all the power. Crypto and Bitcoin will be here when the inevitable happens to the fiat currencies of the world. Speaking of smoke and mirrors and the control of the wealthy, investment firm Goldman Sachs held a public call this week with none other than Bitcoin on the agenda. There was speculation that Goldman would open up custodial services for their client base and what it would do to the Bitcoin price. That speculation turned out to be incorrect. Goldman Sachs went the complete opposite direction, and in leak slides from their U.S. Economic Outlook and Implications of Current Policies for Inflation, Gold, and Bitcoin presentation, labeled Bitcoin and similar cryptocurrencies as not an asset class, offering neither cash flow or a hedge against inflation. That would have been enough to light a fire under the crypto community, but in a following slide, they doubled down and declared Bitcoin, get this, a conduit for illegal activity.
You can't be serious.
This led, of course, to a flaming on crypto Twitter with mixed opinions. Miss Bitcoin said Goldman Sachs saying not to buy Bitcoin is like ExxonMobil telling people they shouldn't buy a Tesla. While some were spitting fire at Goldman, others were taking a more optimistic outlook and pointing to this as a sign that we're still in the preliminary adoption period and it's not too late to be early. Apparently, Goldman Sachs is stuck back in 2016 and will not be early. Why do you think Goldman took this stance? Are they accumulating behind the scenes, or are they just not willing to take a risk on something they have little experience with? We'd love to hear your opinion, so please leave a comment below and remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more crypto content. That's all the crypto news that fits today, so until next time, hodl on.